Okay, so you've decided you're going to be into watches. I love watches. Everybody loves watches. You got to collect watches. They take up less room in the garage than cars, right? So you're like, I'm going to have a whole bunch of watches. It's going to take up a lot less space. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to get into it, and you're going to buy a whole bunch of like average $500 watches. You're like, this is great, whatever. You buy some like JDM Seikos or whatever you're going to do. And then you think this is great, I need a place to store them, and you're going to buy a watch box, right? You're going to buy a watch box with like 10 slots or 12 slots, a nice little drawer in the bottom. You put all your little straps in there. You're like, great. So before you know it, you fill up that watch box because, of course, you can't have like a 10 or 12 slot watch box and have a slot empty. It doesn't make sense, right? You got to fill it all up with these $500 watches. But before you know it, you've spent whatever, $5,000-$6,000, and by that point, you probably could have bought a brand new luxury watch at that point. You're like, I gotta spend that $5,000 on something that I really wanted. Then you're probably gonna do that. Your wife is gonna lose her mind because she's like, why are you spending $5,000 on a watch? And you're gonna start to get rid of the other ones, and you're gonna sell them, and hopefully some of the JDMs or whatever, you're gonna get some of the value back and whatever. Hopefully, 80% of your value. You're like, I did a good job. I invested well on these JDMs. Whatever you're gonna do. So then after that, you become desensitized, and then the next watch you're going to buy is going to be like 10K plus, because only the really good luxury watches are going to be like whatever. You're going to be $12,000-$13,000. I'm Canadian, whatever. 12,000-13,000 Canadian. You're not going to get anywhere without doing something like that. So, which is fine. You're going to go ahead and do that, and then you're going to be into the whatever 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years into it. You're going to be like, oh, they need service. And then no one's put away the, I don't know, $150 a year, and you get to put away for every single luxury piece you have to get them serviced. Then you like lose your mind. But then you're like, what am I going to do? Is I going to wait until like, I don't know, whatever, like 4 years, and I'm going to flip it. And by this time, you think you're getting savvy. So you're going to start buying, you don't buy them retail. You're going to like look for good other deals. And you're like, I'm not going to buy Rolex. Like it only chumps buy Rolex. I'm going to start buying IWC or Jakob whatever. Like, on the second market, I'm going to get my value, and they're used, and everything's going to be fine. And the spiral keeps going, and you're going to have them for a while, and they're going to be happy. Then you buy yourself a time grapher, and every single one you get, you put it on the time grapher, and then you're like all freaking out because it's like, it's like minus 10 seconds a day, and you're like, oh, it's not cost, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and you freak out. And you just spiral down and down and down and down and down until nothing gets you excited until you're looking at like a $40,000 or $50,000 watch, which you figure is never going to be attainable anyway. You start getting rid of all your collection, and you end up getting yourselves like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 pieces you actually really like. Welcome to watch collecting.